for the year. I want to greet people who know me, people who I know so well. The people who I communicated to and told them I'm going to be here, and they told me, hey, Eric, tomorrow very early in the morning, tutakuwa tunakusikiza cause unatuambianga mambo mazuri.
Indeed.
I want to remember a shout out to a lady who told me, hey, na unikumbuke kwa set. She's called Naomi Mudhoni Gathaithi.
Asalimike.
So asalimike. Mimi kama Mjaluo Mluya nasema salimika na usalimike sana.
And everyone who has tuned in this particular morning, remember you can always chime in into the conversation at TV47KE, Facebook, Twitter, and SMS is 20447. Chime in into the conversation. Daktari, I want us to cross over to the Standard. First of all, by the way, happy Mashujaa Day to you.
Thank you. Happy Mashujaa Day should be, everybody should feel their own Mashujaa. Since now you've really struggled to reach where you are. So you struggled through all the four things that we fought in the first Mashujaa. You've struggled through education to reach here. Umetoa ile inaitwa ujinga. Upumbavu, because upumbavu is foolishness. Now that is brought about by ignorance. You fought magonjwa, so you are a shujaa. When you were born till now, many people died at young age. You remember infantry, many people die, especially in poor nation, third world countries. So many diseases, communicable diseases, kill hundreds of kids at young age. So you are a shujaa. You've reached where you are. You are really a shujaa. Before you even think of someone else, think of yourself first. Where have you reached? And what do you want to achieve? Then write them down and say, in the next 10 years, I want to be shujaa over these things. Nataka kujenga keja yangu, nitakuwa na familia. DJ hapa pia, akimaliza nataka kuwa na studio ingine kali. Akina Jay-Z wanakuja kuset kwake, ngoma inatoka safi. You know, things like that. You make yourself shujaa by applying positive things in your life. Why do we think of shujaa in Kenya? It's not about how we fought. Are we going to fight every day? No. We look at the achievement we've had from the day we fought and got independence and to where we are. Now that begs another question. Did we really get independent by fighting? No. We negotiated some of these things. So as we move on, are we going to negotiate within ourselves? We have 42, 43, 47 communities in Kenya. We have diversity. Has that diversity brought about oneness in Kenya? We are not yet there. So how much do we need in the next 10 years? So that at that time, a moment in time, we'll say, we are shujaa again because we've achieved this. We are shujaa in Kenya, we've achieved multipartyism. We are shujaa in Kenya, we've achieved election justice. Though we are not yet there, but we are doing very well. We are shujaa in Kenya that election can end and everybody goes about their jobs. We are shujaa in Kenya that we nowadays can think as one nation. You understand? Sometime we had those things that took us negative. 2007 went down line. But are we back on track? Yes. So much need to be done? Yes. So what is it that we are shujaa about? People should not always think, oh, Mau Mau alipigana. I mean, that was done. So what else can we think about making us shujaa? We are not going to fight. We have fighting that we need to do. We need to fight against health now. Health is an issue. So what can we say in 5 years that we've done that will say we are shujaa? But however, inaanzanga na wewe na mimi. So mimi mwenyewe ni shujaa kwanza.
Before you mention anyone else as a shujaa, you're first and foremost your
nilizaliwa ghetto, nimelelewa ghetto, nimefika mahali niko. Kwanza mimi ni shujaa kabla nifikirie mengine. The wars that you fought in your life are so many that you should pongeza yourself as kwanza. Did you treat yourself yesterday?
Yes. Personally?
Yes.
No.
Now you see. DJ, did you treat yourself yesterday?
I do.
Did you yesterday?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
You should give yourself satisfaction. Did
you personally?
Yeah. I took myself out.
No. Speaking of which, did you get a chance to attend, go to Uhuru Gardens?
I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go because I don't believe in that government yet. They need to convince me why to believe in them first.
Do you think because, I mean, the attendance, they were expecting more than 22,000 Kenyans.
They wouldn't get.
And, you know, the seats, most of the seats were empty there. And
they wouldn't get.
The whole memes and all that. Why do you think?
They wouldn't get, because they have forgotten that 8 million people didn't vote. Just decided not to. They forgot that 7 million people about didn't vote them. The number that voted them is minus the number that didn't vote them. So when you say 8 plus 7, that's around 16 million people who decided not to vote them. So the numbers they got was 7 point something, if that was true number anyway. So they should start thinking, how do we manage to bring back the numbers that thought negative about us? That they will get, you know, they may do a lot of PR, but the fact remains is people don't feel them. And they have to be honest about themselves and understand they need to work. One, I would give an example. They told us they're going to give us clean cabinet. I mean, is the cabinet clean? Well, someone will tell me, not guilty until proven. But ethically, are we okay to have that cabinet there? There's so many things they told us that really are working below. They told Wanjiko there will be an unga for 80, 90 bob. It's not yet there.
And speaking of the whole, now what was said and what was not said. First, the front page of the Standard.
I've seen it.
Yes, definitely. We can go through the whole. It highlights the hits and the misses of you know what, and basically the hits are just, you know, the rubber stamping. He was rubber stamping what is in the Kenya Kwanza manifesto, and you know, he says this is what I had said. This is probably what we're going to do about it. You know, speaking about the whole basically the whole Hustler Fund. And he says that it is going to be launched on the 1st of December. So, you know, some of these things, and then the misses. What do you read into this? You know, the misses talk about the national healing. You know, little commitment to heal political drifts. He didn't, you know, touch on most of the cost of living, historical injustices, gender inclusiveness, national debt, no word on spiraling debt and how to deal with it, economy, wealth, no clear strategies to grow economy, create wealth for all, and also job creation. You know, apart from agriculture, no mention of manufacturing agenda. The speech was about 1 hour. Should we say that he will mention this as time goes on?
If I was the government, which I'm not, which we missed out a bit, if I was in the government, I would not deal with 100 things at a go. And I wish each government that comes in takes into consideration that they're only able to deal with 2 or 3 things alone.
Which are these first priorities?
I'll give my priority to health and agriculture and stop any other thing. When I have a good agricultural output and you have a good healthy nation, any other thing will set on itself. A country will work and ukishiba utafanya job. So if you want to tell me that you're going to fight corruption at the same time, so what are factors that affect corruption? I'll give you an example. We normally say this is a UDA government, ama Kenya Kwanza government. One thing that you've forgotten, this is a continuation of Jubilee government. Everything that they are talking about is everything that they had talked about during the Jubilee administration. Agriculture, for example. They went to Galana Kulalu, started agricultural production of maize in Galana Kulalu, which they missed thoroughly, big time, because of how pilferages went. One thing that this government should tell us, because they were part of 10-year tenure of Jubilee. Almost everyone who is going to be in the government of Kenya Kwanza was in the government of Jubilee. Duale is the continuation. So is the former speaker is a continuation. So everyone is a continuation. Just a bit of numbers like Akina Jumwa. So now the question is, agriculture, how good are you going to do? I'll give this. I wish they would have said that we had this in Jubilee government. We missed out here. And since we still were part of the same things that were happening in Jubilee, we want to correct here, not you bring another thing, because you're continuing so many things that you started. Housing, they are not starting.
Probably before we cross over from agriculture, is GMO sort of bringing another idea instead of dealing with the...
GMO came up during, actually, before Moi left, the story of GMO had started. After Moi left, when Kibaki came in, the GMO story came. And we brought in scientists on set. And they gave the reasons why GMO was not okay. A research was done in our country, and it was said GMO will affect negatively. What is really GMO? GMO basically is you genetically modify a food. If this maize, a normal maize takes 9 months kwa shamba. Now you have a GMO that is going to take 2 to 3 months, na hiyo mahindi imeiva. Imefika kiwango ya kutoa kwa shamba. So that tells you in a year, if you divide 3 months times 12, you'll find in a year unaweza lima mara 4. So which kind of food are you getting? And then the other question is the natural infrastructure of God. Mtoto anakaa miezi 9. Huwezi pata mtoto kwa miezi 3. Huo mtoto wa miezi 3 atakuwa mtoto wa aina gani? Na hata mtoto akizaliwa miezi 9 ana grow na miaka ingine 5. That's why you see before, from kuzaliwa to kufika miaka 5, that kid is still growing. There's growth inside the uterus and growth outside the uterus.
But then there's a debate that God gave us the brain so that we use the brain to advance technology.
Yes, there's positive advancement and positive negative. Of course, this looks positive, tutapata chakula kwa wingi. But negative, how is it going to affect you? So, genetically, what are you doing? You've done gene mapping. Gene mapping, umechukua mahindi, umefanya gene mapping. Everything has an RNA DNA structure. You've ensured that you've engineered the DNA structure ya maize, that ile maize inamea kwa haraka sana. How is that going to assist our country? Agriculture, again, agriculture is affected by forest. Okay? I want to see how this government is going to tackle forest. Remembering the government, the people who have taken the government are the same people who have been fighting other people who go into the forest. I mean, I'll give you an example. Mau Forest. During Kibaki administration, when Raila was the prime minister, there was a cabinet paper that said that, which Raila was under the docket of Raila, that people must be gotten out of Mau. So the job of removing out people Mau started. It was used as a political tool to fight Raila. Whereas the same people who were in the cabinet, wakapitisha Raila aende atoe watu Mau, and the same people went against Raila because Raila was going for the forest. And he basically said, if that will make me go home, so fine. So Raila was out. So now the forest issue came during this campaign. Towards the end of this campaign, you remember, Emurua Dikir, Ngeno, there was some fight around there where the Maasais and the Kalenjins didn't have a good agreement about the forest. So now they're in the government. Are they going to remove people in the forest? So what I was saying, there is still continuity. They should tell us, we wanted to have a forest cover of this, we missed out, and this is what we're going to do. So here, Mr. President said that he is going to make sure we have 30% of the tree cover by 2032. Who tells him he's going to win in 2027? You see now? So he should have said, by 2027, this is what's going to be there. And let's work together. So primary school, what we used to do, tutakuwa tunapanda miti kila wiki. Okay? There is a tree planting day. I remember there was a tree planting day. We have a tree planting day every 3 months. So we have four days ya kupanda miti. that one we can make it. Actually, the way Rwanda have the cleaning day, where everyone in that country kufanya yote ni kupanguza na kuosha na kupaka rangi the whole country. That is what should happen. If that happens, we can achieve by 2027. Don't go to 2032. I mean, it's too far. What can you do in 1 year? Then from there, climate change. Climate change basically is not possible in Kenya. Why? Because climate change is worldwide. So this global thing, we should sit together and understand at one accord that as a whole world, we need to do this for climate change. Green energy, we should be there like yesterday.
And actually on that next month, the COP27 in Cairo, Egypt, President William Ruto will be attending, and he should be attending and giving his inaugural speech there as president. Last year, the former president Uhuru Kenyatta had was there, and he gave his own promises, the pledges that Kenya will be making. What do you expect, and what should Ruto be saying on that platform in Egypt during the COP27?
Green energy basically is natural infrastructure, nothing else. Talk of natural infrastructure that can bring energy. Let's get out of fossil energy. We are talking green energy, we are still in Turkana drenching. We are talking of green energy, we are thinking of water to give us power. We are talking of green energy and we are still cutting trees, kupika na nini, na miti. So green energy basically means what do we have that give us energy? If you go to Kitui here, you'll get coal. Coal is still there. Iko tu juu sakafuni. Tukua barabara ya Mombasani, kwa lami, kuna mali unapatanga tu mawe tu black. Twingi, unashangaa utu tunakaje tu sakol tu mawe tu black. That is coal. On top of what? Ndio hata ulime pale, my friend, utafagia ile mawe ndio hata ulime. You can't. So what can we do with that coal? You see now, we stop producing energy from coal because of what? What you are saying. Tulipewa akili tuitumie vizuri. By that time they were using coal to produce energy. Hiyo coal iliwadhuru. So now we can't use coal. So now which green energy can we go? We have a lot of sun around. We have a lot of sun in northeastern. We just need panels like in California. That will bring us good energy. Are we ready to go a mile to get out of coal energy? Again, international market. When you get out of green energy, you go to coal energy. Shell is owned by America. Are the Americans going to allow Africa? Now the question is, are you going to get out of the big 10, the G10, the great 10? The G10 controlled 99% of the world economy. They decide even who becomes the president of each country in terms of who can we do business with. So are we going to go there? So one thing we should never forget that as much as Ruto will go there, he also has kakitu amedungwa kwa mgongo. Usiseme hii, ukisema hii.
By who?
The world powers. I tell you the truth, the things you can't do in this world. It's good to campaign. After campaign, you become the president. You realize now the things ulisema haiwezekani.
But then in US, when he traveled to the US, to the United Nations, the whole talks, he was quite vocal, and he was vocally telling them, the world leaders, he was sort of quote unquote blaming them for all this.
Yes, you will talk, then start doing it. There is about talking and saying it. We've seen people who have talked, tried to say, and where they went. Muammar Gaddafi wanted to start an African currency, one African currency, the gold currency. He wanted to unite Africa to become one country. So we were to be states in the great African country. The idea is still noble till now. If Africa would unite and become one country, and now Ruto becomes the governor of Kenya, I mean, you understand?
Yeah, the same thing Muhoozi was...
Do you know what would happen?
The same thing Muhoozi Kainerugaba was trying to
it can never
propagate.
work. It can never work.
Having the East Africa bloc as one.
It can never work. And I'm telling you, it will not. They will never allow Africa to unite. It can never be United States of America. It cannot. Because the divided we are, the better for them, because the resources we have, they take them away. They make them, get money. Then when we are hungry, they have the USAID, they have the Red Cross, they can bring us free things. And it's not free. Ni ile pesa yetu tu imerudi tena kama free, then wanatuchota. You know, and these things we know, but we cannot unite.
Indeed, I want us to now cross over to the whole Hustler Fund. And on page 6 of your Daily Nation, says Ruto locks Hustler Fund loans to mandatory saving pension plan. Remember, you know, he had, before the whole, during his run-up to the campaigns.
You said page?
Page 6 of the Daily Nation. He was talking about how each and every single hustler will receive this for free. And now, you know, he's quoted saying, well, technically it's not for free. You really have to work for this. And the whole, he had promised unconditional access to the cash during the campaigns. So just to, you know, briefly go through that, beneficiaries of loans from President William Ruto's much-awaited Hustler Fund will be subject to a raft of conditions, including mandatory participation in a savings and pension plan with an entisa of free cash equivalent to have the amount saved. Will we say that, you know, before he came and went to the house on the hill, which is the State House, he looked at, you know, he didn't, at that time, he didn't know what was in the coffers, but then now he is, after soaring in, he goes and looks and, you know, he looks at the books and says, wow, so this is what what is here, so I'll have to change a few things of what I was saying.
No, what I'm telling you is, Hustler Fund was never going to work.
So you mean on
the mindset of no, it's going to, okay, the money will be there, it will be launched, but the mindset of the Hustler Fund, as it was said in the campaign, was not going to be there. I'll give you one reason. Again, the government don't have a bank account. So there is nothing like tulipata pesa fulani kwa bank. It's not a saving credit account. I mean, you can have a saving credit account, but not the government. The government have consolidated account. Even when you're seated here, they are making money. Government makes money every second. They cannot know how much they are making in a day. That's why they have KRA. KRA will assist them to know this is what we collect in a day. But what they can make in a day is even more. So there is nothing like they got 10 million in the bank. Amana, pana, kuna kitu kama hiyo. So, I mean, I tell you the truth, it can never be, and it will never be.
But then briefly, as we take a 7 a.m. Short break, will you say that, you know, when he was, you know, sworn in, you know, he realized that there is no money?
There was money. What happened is, now the network of forming a Hustler Fund, and the intricacies that normally come with it. You know, when you're talking there, you're talking to people who don't understand. Even you don't understand. Then now, finish, sit down.
All that thought, let's take that short break. That will definitely be finalizing the whole Hustler Fund and the unconditional access to it. It is going to be launched on the 1st of December this year. And also the 5 faces that you'll be seeing on your screens from around 9 a.m. The cabinet nominees who are going to be vetted by and grilled by the members of parliament and the committee. What are we going to be expecting? Talk to us on our social media platforms, TV47KE, Facebook and Twitter. Stay with us.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Things zima come in small packages.
How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la Siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga,
and music bands. every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la Siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
Waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga.
and music bands every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la Siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
Waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga.
and music bands every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la Siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
Waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga.
and music bands every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Basically, and now to those who earn the filthy rich, as you call it.
So what basically is Hustler Fund is a mimic of, you remember the Youth Fund?
Mm-hmm.
But now it comes in a name where now you cannot really gauge the age and the wealth of someone. Because who's a hustler? Hustler is a slang. If I don't go to dictionary, I just want to mindfully do it as they had been doing it. Hustler is a slang meaning anyone who is getting out of their houses to make a living and the difficulties they go through their living. So the government was coming to eradicate, or rather to make sure that they make a free or an easy path to successfully do their businesses. If you ask me, before Hustler Funds, we should reduce, one, for you to start a business in Nairobi here, the number of paperwork you need to have to start a business is too expensive. You're starting a biashara ya kuuza manjumu pale, uko na ngiringine mbao, umeenda umechukua mtushi, you know, I'm talking now language yetu.
Manjumu is shoes
uko na kakeja mahali kama bati, umekae kama misumari udunge mashuzi ngare, unasugua pale, then unazihang. Sasa hiyo biashara ndio isimame hapo. Do you know what you should have?
How much?
I sold shoes. Unastahili kuwa na barua ya health. Unajua unastahili kuwa barua ya public health ya kuuza viatu. Mi nilishtukaga hiyo time that kuuza hiyo kiatu lazima una barua ya public health. Ati hiyo kiatu inaenda kwa mguu ya mtu, lazima kuwa na barua ya public health. Haya, kutoka hapo you ask yourself, public health na viatu tunakujia wapi? Na ni njumu tu unang'ara, na njumu ishatosha mguu ya mtu amepima asikia hiyo iko.
Probably it's the whole leather, and maybe leather affects some people.
I don't know. Because leather affect them. Do you want to tell me that's why Indians don't wear belts?
I don't know. Story of another day.
So now,
the
what I'm trying to say, what it costs to put up a business,
quite expensive.
It's quite expensive. So now, is that gonna help the hustler.
Before the hustler
Before
starts
the
making
hustler
profits.
fund, before you give me that money to start a business, make the pathway of creating that business easy. You understand? The infrastructure of creating that business. I'm not fighting hustler fund. It's one of the best things. If it works, it will unlock so many problems. But now, umenipatia ile do, nimelipa kodi za manyumba before hata biashara yanze, imechukua nusu ya ngirichwani. So sina hata pesa capital ya kuranio business. Unajua business ya tumeanza kuuza njumu, imeanza kusell.
And that's where now loans
this is a loan. It is not a grant. When they were selling hustler fund to us, it was a grant.
Right now the conditions are there.
Yeah, and then the condition here, mushikane watu tano mfungue. You know the least number of a sacco ni watu tano. So mchikane a group which is normally 5 and above. Mutengeneze kajina, muende kwa sacco, mfungue account. Mkishafungua account, mu-identify biashara. That biashara itakuja, there is a guy atakuwa ameandikwa pale into field officer. Atakuja kuangalia hiyo biashara yenu, asikize mind yenu, aseme you are logically can get this fund. Then umepata hii do. Mkishapata hii do, unataka muranile biashara mkilipa ile. What is the difference of that and youth fund? Which was the same way. Has the name just changed? As they say, it's the forest that changes, but the man can remain the same. So it is just the name that I've changed. I'm thinking it's just a youth fund. So who is a hustler to get this? The super rich still is a hustler. A guy worth 2 billion will still want the hustler fund. You will not say that ye ni mdosi. Apana. How do you gauge a hustler? It's not by udosi and unafikiria. So a hustler can be even a trillionaire. And the poorest pauper in town, the guy whose net worth cannot even pass 500,000. So who is the one to get these loans? Hustler Fund should have been a grant as it was said. So if I were the president, I'll make sure some of these things that comes with opening a business package is reduced. I remember when Kibaki came in, because I'm part of the Kibaki system when he was coming in. It was very difficult, very, very difficult, almost impossible to get a passport. Hii ya kwenda majuu. Hii kitu inaitwa nini? Hii PIN number. Getting a PIN number, you even needed a letter from your chief, from pastor. To get a PIN number, me, I got my PIN number in 2004. So now, getting that PIN number took me a lot of letters and many stamps. So now, that Kibaki came and forgeared all that. So Ruto should forgear business entrepreneurship. There's so many loggerheads there. Then now streamline KRA. Because at the end of the day, we really need money. Streamline KRA. And then KRA waache kupush watu sana. And sometime
basically, you just to have it friendlier, as Ruto was saying, make career friendlier.
Yeah, but not that people should not pay taxes. I mean, people, watu wanahepa tax serious in Kenya. If Kenyans were to pay tax ya ukweli, we should be in the second world country like South Africa. I don't know why Kenya should not be in the second world. I've not even understood why Kenya should not be in the second world. We have all the infrastructure that need us to get in the second world. One of the things that make a country get into second world, streamline health. If I were Ruto, nitatoa hii majina yote inaitwa government hospital. What is government? Nairobi Hospital is government hospital.
So we basically have private hospitals? Or?
No. Yeah, we call them private hospitals. But now the government hospital, you change its name to state hospitals. Take over state hospitals.
So the change of the name is the problem?
No, the change of the name will change the functionalities. Yes. State hospital is managed by the state. You understand? State decides. No, let me give you an example. Police is a state department. Wanajiriwa na state, wanalipwa na state, kila kitu ni state mpaka uniform. Ushaona askari akishona nguo yake? daktari anashona lab coat, daktari anashona nguo yake ya kuingia theater. Enda theater siku hizi kila mtu amevaa, kuna maroon, kuna blue, kuna green, kila mtu anavaa nguo yake. Kama ushaienda hospitali, kila mtu anavaa nguo yake. Ni za hospitali ndio, lakini design ni different. So when you take state hospital, you manage from hata chai, ukienda hata computer. You are not to buy anything. State buys everything. If riches there will be okay, because the government will clearly make sure you have everything. From there, I'll give you another example. Army, that's a state department. Everything yao ni serikali kuu. When you take state hospital, and this I'm telling you because go to South Africa here, where I've traveled, not once, you have state hospitals. These are government hospitals that now turn to be state hospitals. They manage everything. Hata dawa ni ya serikali. So that will help a lot. From there, when Ruto has done that, change the name to state hospital. 2, akimalizana na health, akuje kitu inaitwa education, which they are doing now. I hope it works out. Tukimaliza education, kwa hii health, surely, sioni kwa nini mama mboga haezi afford NHIF. Change the name of NHIF. Call it as the way they wanted to call it, akina Raila and Ngilu. Health Insurance Scheme. Everybody aende huko.
So technically, the change of the names were the problems? Because I mean, in his speech yesterday, he was trying to make
why the change of name
a level playground of the NHIF.
You know why changing of name is important? When God wanted to bless Abraham, he changed his name.
Interesting.
When God wanted to bless Jacob, he called him Israel. He changed his name.
So names are important.
Bro, right now you have your name. It is important for you to move, you change your name. If ulikuwa unaitwa ukiwa kijana kule mtaa, hiyo sheng name, hiyo unaitwa nayo. Maybe ulikuwa unaitwa boy. Sasa hapa siwezi kuita boy. You change name. A name gives the oomph. Abraham to Abraham.
But then the oomph might be there, but are the functions done?
The oomph is there, but tumeilok. Tutoe scheme. Scheme, ule mtu anaweza afford mbao, anaweza ingia hosi na tibiwa na mbao yake.
How different is it
kila
from
mtu,
what
then NHIF watu wache kukatwa the same. Watu wakatwa kulingana na uzito. The guy is earning $500,000. I mean, I'll give you an example. This guy mwenye wa Safaricom ana earn how many millions in a year? The CEO 200 and something in a year. Analipa NHIF dongapi? 500, si ndio? Ama 1,000?
I'm not sure.
Hiyo ni jokes. Hiyo ni jokes, seriously. And everyone, unaona vile NSSF kila mtu ukatwa, kila mtu akatwa NHIF, kila mtu. Na kila mtu alikatwa kulingana na uzito.
And that's exactly what Ruto is aspiring to have.
Yeah, but now that one should go to the Health Commission surely. Si anasema kila mtu akatwe pesa fulani. Because ukisema hivyo kuna watu wataona siasa. Na jutaki iwe siasa, wacha majama wanakuja uwezi argue na wao. Jamaa fulani anaitwa Dr. PhD, CRE, GHC ndiye anasema hivi. Huyo mtu utaargue na because anatoa in the point of knowledge after research. Lakini ukikuja kama president useme watu watakuwa wanalipa 6,000, watu watakupiga. Juu wao wamezoea ni siasa. I'm trying to be logic, unaona. So Prezo anatoa hiyo point which is arguable, trust me, but sasa wache kuja na wase wengine. Unaona vile si ungangana na SRC, utampeleka wapi mjamaa anaitwa SRC?
I want us to shift focus now to Kalonzo Musyoka, Wiper Party leader, attending the Mashujaa Day. Before we cross over to the cabinet nominees for today, Kalonzo Musyoka attended the Mashujaa Day yesterday. Yes. Is the opposition reading from the same script?
Mashujaa Day is not a political day. Yes. It's a national day.
But should we have seen the
but the wrong part of Mashujaa Day of yesterday, now that's why I'm saying we are goofing somewhere, is people walking in wearing UDA colors and UDA imeandikwa kila mahali. Is it a UDA event? Ama wangekuja UDA, ODM wakuja kwa wamevaa ODM, Wiper wamevaa Wiper, how would it have been? Unaanza kuimagine, kanajaribu kuambia Kalonzo asema sisi watu wa Wiper kujeni dhao 10, watu wa UDA kujeni dhao 10. Hapana, ni wimbo tutaenda kungangania. So saa ingine national event tuacheni hizi manguo.
But then away from that, Uhuru Kenyatta, the former president, is the chairman of Azimio.
Yes.
So far, he hasn't been vocal about, his chairmanship and taking up the whole role. What should we be expecting? Should we be seeing Uhuru Kenyatta actively into, or
He will be. I can tell you, Uhuru will be very active in this political dispensation. He will be. As we say, he's still very young. And Raila will be 1,000 times active. Okay? Kalonzo will be active. Actually, Kalonzo will run in 2022, 27.
All three reading from the same script.
They will be. The thing is, these are very young men, 1 month. So wacha kwanza wafanye hii, wanasema wanatoa uchafu ya Azimio, watoe ni Azimio ama ni handshake, watoe uchafu. Sijui uchafu ni mingi namna gani hawajamaliza kutoa. Wacha watoe uchafu, then they start running the government.
But then recently we've seen Raila Odinga in, meeting people on the streets, and then Kalonzo Musyoka on his, end having press conferences separately, the opposition, but then separate meetings. What should we be reading from this?
They're doing the same thing. There is one person who goes to the people, the other person who can do it on camera.
So killing two birds with one stone?
It is possible. But what I can tell you is they are going to be very active. Kalonzo going to the national holiday is very important, and any other person should attend. Okay? People will differently. Me, I will not attend because I'm still feeling aggrieved. I still haven't swallowed. But nitakuja tu kuattend someday when kila kitu itakuwa imetulia. Temperatures huanga zinatulia. Kalonzo kwenda is important, and everyone else should go. And then kitu ingine niambie wa Kenya, tuache hii madharau. Kama jana, tuache hii madharau. Kama jana juali, viti hazingekuwa zina hang. Jamaa anakalia viti 5 mtu mmoja. Tuendeni grao, tusherehekee kama wa Kenya. Ikifika wakati wa campaign, kama unajisikia uende campaign ya Ruto, siende. Lakini national holiday, let's just attend. Because I affect borako tu, tusigongwe mbele ya kila mtu. Borako tu
that includes you also in the whole
that's what I'm telling you. I'm still healing, which I will still go. I'm still undergoing. There's stages of grief. Everyone goes through it differently. There's a person who goes flash, amemaliza grief na anaendelea. Kuna mtu anachukua mwaka kugrieve. So Kalonzo alimaliza haraka.
I think
wengine bado wanangangana. Mimi bado nangangana, nitakuja tu. But Kenya nazambia wa Kenya, Ruto is our president. He makes a mistake, we are all in trouble. He make it good, we are all under the tick. So, deputy president najua ni deputy president wetu. Acha kutugonga, acha kila wakati anasema serikali iliyotoka.
And speaking of which, when you say Ruto as president, if he makes a wrong path, we all go the wrong path, and if he makes it correctly, we are all good. And speaking of which, he named his dream team 2 weeks after being sworn in. 22 names, and so far Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This story is on page 12 of the Daily Nation. 5 more faces questioning members of parliament, and also it is on Standard page 10 and 11. Let's start with page 12 of the Daily Nation. Obviously highlights there, and some new faces we'll be seeing today. Some faces we've seen them. Mithika Linturi, a controversial name. This brings up the whole kind of worms of integrity of the state officers. Yesterday, and actually quite a while back, Miguna had said, Miguna had tweeted and said, this cabinet vetting is under the bar. I should probably look for the whole tweet and quote it. But then he was saying that it is under the bar. They're not really they're just touching the surface, and they're not really digging in Should this be happening starting today? What should we be expecting when these 5 Mithika Linturi cabinet nominee for matters agriculture, nominee for East African Community, Arid and Semi-Arid Lands, Ms. Rebecca Miano, Ezekiel Mashogu, cabinet nominee education, Willie ICT cabinet nominee Eliud Owalo, and also Babu Nomomba, cabinet nominee for sports. The 5 names that we'll be hearing today. The kind of grilling that should be happening today, Dr.
There's no grilling happening in Kenya. Akode, the famous Akode, said that she could answer 90% of the questions that were being asked, meaning she was scoring a straight A. You also saw that tweet anyway. As I'm saying, for example, I'm also answering you with that tweet. So there's no grilling that is being done. And if there was grilling being done, this is what I know about grilling. There should be documents tabled from different government agencies. Okay?
But then, okay, so they were asked, and Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, asks them, for example, if it is you, Dr. do you have your papers from, the... Yes,
it's not that, it's not,
yes,
don't ask them, don't ask them, don't ask them. The names were given to us.
So probably.
So now the government agencies, the agencies of education, okay, that regulate education, the agencies of corruption, the agencies of hata za kanisa ziseme kama kweli ulibatizwa,
should a representative be there?
It is about yes, it's about you. Then there's this person I call the ombudsman. Ombudsman should be an invitee in parliament in that day, because who is an ombudsman? He's a representative of the people. Of course, MPs will say, we are chapter 1, where power is vested to us by the people indirectly. But now, ombudsman is a state agency. Should also be there. This state agency should bring your story, because your story is there. Then the national NIS should give you a story. Everyone's story is there.
So basically they should be representatives.
You should not be asked, have you brought your papers for secondary school?
Yes.
Yeah. No. The agencies are there to bring those papers. Then, before then, the agency, which is now the parliament, should pick your papers and check against those papers. Then the question will be according to the agency. You said you are worth this. That money, that wealth regulation, you should have filled it immediately ulitangazwa, iende KRA, iende all those departments, then walete answer hiyo siku. So hiyo siku kisema 200, the document says 1.2 billion. So hii ingine ilitoka wapi? I mean, that is what I know about grilling. But here kuulizwa, ulisoma kiwango gani? Then unaanza kulia. Why are you crying? What you are crying, everyone went through them. That's what I'm saying. I'm a shujaa. Mimi nilizaliwa ghetto. Some of us were not even born in hospitals, bro. Sisi tulizaliwa barabarani. Our cords were cut along the road kwa nyasi. So ukilia, wengine wanafaa kuwa napiga nduru,
Yeah, actually, which kind of questions should we be expecting?
You don't need questions. The answer,
or rather, which kind of issues should be?
We should have a template. We should have a national template, and this national template goes to the agencies. The agencies bring the answer from the national template. Okay. Then this thing is brought to Kenyans. This is Eric Ragalo. This is him. Now, Kenyans will give the answer. But now your Kenyans ni MPs. This is who she is. This is who he is. This is how he. But that question answering, it's not what I know. I think there we are failing, and as a government, which I am, because we are in a parliamentary system, we are all in the government, we should look at a way of getting a template to question these people. Haki ya Mungu, zile maswali hata unaweza answer. Ni nini ngumu pale? Kuulizo you are worth what? Ni nini ngumu? You don't even need to say the truth.
Let's talk about the CAS question, Chief Administrative Secretaries, that was introduced by President Uhuru Kenyatta to, play a key role in, helping the cabinet, basically the whole cabinet, and being, basically as a permanent secretaries. That wasn't introduced into the new constitution. The court ruled that it was illegal and all that. We won't get into the whole merits and demerits of this case because it is the whole court. But then we do have like 3 minutes, so briefly on this. Should Ruto be, actively use these particular roles in his government?
The CAS court case went up to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, with its wisdom again, ruled that it was illegal. Mm-hmm. So from Supreme Court, you just go to heaven. So if Supreme Court ruled it's illegal to have a CAS position, and it has been advertised, are we not starting the first stage of impunity? Are we going to have CAS that has been ruled illegal by the Supreme Court? So was the ruling by the Supreme Court just in the paper? So will people really follow the Supreme Court ruling? That question is very hard. And I'm saying very hard, reason being, we should not have a CAS position being advertised anyway.
And this comes in the backdrop of Ruto, stamping and saying that he is a man who will follow the law and having autonomy of...
Yes, he said that. During swearing,
judiciary.
He said that. Mm-hmm. He said that. And why would we go that? Why would you say this and don't do it? So, CAS is illegal. What is their function, actually? What are they going to do? That we have departmental heads, the directors, we have the permanent secretaries, we have the ministers. So what are they going to play their role? So now the other part, we have CDF. CDF is equally very illegal. CDF is very illegal, and we should not have CDF in Parliament. So what we bring CDF, then are we going to have funds for MCAs? Are we going to have funds for women rep? For everybody?
Your final words as we wrap it up.
My final word is that I wish President Ruto all the best in his administration. He has a lot of work to do. Famine that we don't have, he didn't bring it. Njaa ni njaa tu, si njaa, sorry, ukame. So mitigation ya hii ukame, he needs his wisdom. We pray for him so much that he makes it, because when he makes it, our country grows. If he fails, we are in the deep. So however much you are a sadist, usitakie mtu mabaya. Mimi namtakia kila laheri kwa hii administration yake.
Okay.
Na namtakia wema, raha ya kazi na afya njema.
Right,
wakifanya kazi zao mpaka ile wakati tutakapopatana tena tukirudi katika kinyang'anyiro kipya.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Eric Rogala, governance expert, and thank you for making it time to discuss matters, the state of the nation and whole current affairs, and thank you for tuning in. We're taking a short break. Coming up, we're starting the whole weekend mood rightfully, right here at Feel Good Friday, right here at Morning Cafe, and coming up, Kiddies and Viral Mkaliwao, and getting into the music, into it with Budesco Fredia. Stay with us.
You are watching TV 47, the home of untold stories.
Je, maumivu ya kichwa na kukosesha amani? Kaluma Strong hutuliza maumivu ya kichwa, maumivu ya mwili na hata huondoa joto jingi mwilini. Kaluma Strong ina aspirin kama kiungo. Maumivu yakizidi, muone daktari.
Rock Industries Limited wanakuletea bidhaa za plastiki zinazotumika kila siku maishani, kuanzia matumizi ya jikoni, usafi na shuleni, miongoni mwa matumizi mengine. Chakula kitamu sio upishi tu, kikiwa kitamu kisha kipakuliwe katika vyombo maridadi kinakuwa kitamu zaidi. Ndio maana Rock Industries Limited wanahakikisha mezani na jikoni kunapendeza kwa kukuletea vyombo maridadi vya plastiki. Vyombo hivi ni vya viwango vya juu, vyenye rangi nzuri ya kupendeza, umbo wa kuvutia na vinadumu. Baadhi ya bidhaa za plastiki kutoka Rock Industries Limited ni vikombe, glasi, sahani, jagi, begi, bakuli, vijiko, vichana na kadhalika. Na bidhaa hizi muhimu zinapatikana katika duka lililo karibu nawe pamoja na maduka ya jumla kwa bei nafuu. Kwa maelezo zaidi wasiliana na Rock Industries Limited kupitia nambari 0722575619 au 0736028181.
How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la Siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
Waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga.
and music bands every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.